ABC's of menopause, and the next letter is P. So it's kind of going to piggyback on the last thing that I did was N, and one of the things was nervousness. So with P, there's panic attacks, painful intercourse, and palpitations. I feel like palpitations and panic attacks go hand in hand, but they can, not necessarily. I talked about nervousness before. Panic attacks can happen during menopause when everything just goes back to your hormones being jacked all the way up. So when your hormones are imbalanced, like with anything, if your pH is imbalanced, you might get a UTI. If your levels aren't imbalanced, you might get a breakout in your face. If you're, so there's all kinds of things. You may have experienced palpitations when you had your period, and some people didn't correlate that. Everyone doesn't. Some people do, some people don't. I think that your nervousness, your anxiety, your stress levels, your hormones, your sleep disturbance may also cause a panic attack. So panic attack and palpitations can go hand in hand. You cannot have any of them. You can experience one or the other, or you can experience them both. That is absolutely the thing with menopause. There's no one size fits all. Some people have a million symptoms. A lot of people I hear say, I don't have anything. And I'm just like, amen for you, because I have a lot. One of the biggest things is painful intercourse. So painful intercourse can cause so many other issues in your relationship. I remember reading an article in the New York Times 100 million years ago, and they were like, the biggest issues in marriage is stepchildren. I don't even know why I said that, but it is what it said. Stepchildren, money, sex. So basically, all of these two things, if you're fighting about the stepchildren and you're fighting about money, probably nobody wants to hunch. So that's just a no-brainer. But if you are not having sex, intimacy, that can be a big issue in your relationship. When you are having it frequently, as much as you both want, enjoying it, it's not an issue at all. It's just it's a non-factor. But when there's a disturbance, it can become a factor. So again, I'm telling the story for the 50th time. A young lady was at an event and she was trying to explain to the panel that she doesn't know how to talk to her partner because it's really, truly, it's her, not him. She just doesn't want to do it. She's not in the mood to do it, which is another thing. So, and it was painful. And the person was like, well, maybe you need a better partner. I've said this 1,000 times, but that's not the case. So because of hormone levels, I wish I could make a song out about that, and your estrogen decreasing, it causes dryness. If there's dryness, vaginal tissue is very delicate and fragile. There's no elasticity. So I'm just going to leave that there. Dry, fragile, not pliable. I don't think I need to say much more. So in turn, that's going to cause very painful intercourse. So instead of maybe having a discussion, some people don't like lube. Some people don't like the idea of using it. Some people feel embarrassed about it. There's so many things that you can do to help you with it. There's actually services. One of the places that I've gone to, Her MD, they offer services for that. There's services, there's devices, there's all kinds of things. And you have to have a conversation with your partner, because nobody wants to have sex if it's painful. Nobody wants to have sex if it's not enjoyable. And so one of the issues that can come with menopause is painful intercourse. And even though we're doing the letters, libido, your libido may be low. You may not have any desire to actually have sex at all. Some people, it's the opposite. They want to have it. So everyone is different. The point of me doing this series is to not be ashamed. If you want to do it all the time, you can do it and you feel great, do it. If you don't want to do it and you don't feel good about it, you can get some help about it. But you have to talk about it, because nobody should have to deal with those kind of issues. That is P for my ABCs of menopause. We discussed palpitations, painful intercourse, and panic attacks. And I'm sure there's a plethora, see what I did there, of topics that we can talk about. If there's any questions, anything you want me to do some research, I'm not a doctor. I just am a menopausal woman of 53 dealing with all the things. And one of the things that I'm happy to talk about is when I had a breast lift, because I had lost like all the elasticity in my breasts, and they were not really huge. They were just regular 34s C. They were just kind of average size. But I talked about that, and I'm happy to talk about it more, go in depth about it to give some kind of insight, because we have a lot of questions, and we're allowed to take care of ourselves, and we're allowed to do things to make ourselves feel better. Menopause is not a death sentence. It is not the end of your life. It's just a different chapter. Again, it's your new normal. So it's me with the ABCs of menopause.